Yeah. Sure, man. But you know, that ain't the only thing going on at Square. Um, Meanwhile, you've got the folks that made Forsaken, Luminous Productions. Their studio is merging with Squeenix on May 1st. And
Wow.
the announcement seems to be essentially that the failure of Forspoken has more or less led to a dissolving of the team.
Wow.
But instead of everyone getting fired, they're just getting merged and broken up into Squeenix as a whole.
Who
So,
could have seen it?
I mean, I will say this: like uh, that is the positive version of damn that company went under. You know, the idea that it's like, hey, we just recycled the staff back into other projects and stuff is a better outcome than everybody got fucking axed.
Definitely.
And not just, and a lot of big studios don't always do that necessarily. Sometimes they're just like, no, out you go. So anyway, that game clearly, you know, just that's a what is it, been a month or so, perhaps less, I don't know, but whatever the case, Agni's philosophy and that engine, I guess that's the end of that. No DLC, no expansion or any of that. That's
I'm
done and
totally
done.
unshocked. Wildly unshocked.
I'm only surprised at how quickly the decision was made.
It was probably made before the game even came out.
Well, there's usually it could be. There's usually a like proofing point, you know? A like this is going to happen unless yada yada, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yep. So there goes that. Now, of course, even though that's the results of the way that game was received and, you know, unfortunate for the team involved, I'm gonna look at that as like one of the better outcomes to the to what could happen with a team.
Yeah, it could be worse. They
Could
could
be
have all been
worse.
thrown to a big pot of lava.
Uh, well, how about one step up from that?
Okay.
Let's travel to Montpellier,
Mm-hmm.
where the Beyond Good and Evil 2 studio head exits the studio right as soon as the government started a labor investigation because they were concerned about staff getting sick and burnt out at
Oh,
Ubisoft
cool.
Montpellier.
Oh, wow.
So,
I bet Ubisoft would be in a much better financial state if they didn't have two different games they've been working on for 10 plus years that just burn money and will never come out.
I would like to quote one username, uh, Palimpsest Monotype, who said, "There's development hell, but it turns out there's also development Caelid."
All right. Okay.
I mean, the picture that you paint is the government opening the office door to a studio head, stuffing papers into a briefcase and
Jumping out the window.
just booking it. And you know, the journey to that door involved employees passed out on the fucking ground in the process. Yeah, things not looking so great over at Ubi right now.
And you know that game that everyone's 100% certain will never come out? I don't think it's going to come out.
Well, the only thing worse than that is the thought that it's not coming out and it's killing people on the
Yeah,
way
pe-
to not coming
people
out.
people are getting sick and burning out working on a game, and then all their work is getting thrown into the trash at the end of the day.
Like you want, like again, as someone who fucking wants to see it happen, wants to see it, see the light of day, there's something to be said about, like, not only is it anti-happening, it's absorbing the life force of those around it. Like, fucking dear God, man.
Hey, I I have to really put a pin on this. This is something that comes up with Beyond Good and Evil 2, but it's video game does it in general, where like they announce it and then they work on it and then it's a sequel to an old thing. I'm like, when was Beyond Good and Evil 2 announced to exist?
GameCube, Xbox original era.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Dude, I was in high school. So were you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We went through college, university, got jobs, got different jobs,
Mm-hmm.
got married.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how long can any game of any sequel of any type hold over? Hey man, look, it's that thing from before. Like, that is a lifetime ago. People are listening to this podcast that weren't alive when Beyond Good and Evil 1 came out.
Hands up if you're younger than 20 years old. Yeah. Well, anyway, it is exactly 20 years.
Ridiculous.
We'll find out more, I suppose, when the government gets to the bottom of the situation, but at the very least, not going good. And then you're like, here's the other bit, right? You're like, do you have that, or do you have the it does come out, it disappoints on expectations because the process of getting it done over 20 years burnt out so many people, and they restarted so many times that when they eventually said, fuck it, we have to put a deadline and release something no matter what, which they never did until this point, the thing that comes out is...
It's a massive piece of shit. So, like, there was something that you just touched on, and I feel like we need to say it every time because people don't get it. Games that are in development for 20 years or 10 years or 5 years and then come out and they're dog shit were not actually in development for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. The version that hit the shelf was made in like a year, maybe a little more. They threw out all the old shit they made for most of that time because it was terrible. Or you get into the Duke Nukem Forever problem, where they were making the game so slowly that the industry would pass them by and they would look at the build they have and they go, now this was cool when we started, but we took so long, now it's dog shit. We have to start over again.
And in some cases, you're looking at a passion project that one high-ranking person is keeping afloat, and sometimes that person leaves, and then they go, is he gone? Okay, fucking kick this shit out the door. Shut up, ship it.
I don't care. No one cares about this.
Ship it. It's a fucking loss leader at this point. Yeah. So, that's what's coming out of Ubi, and you know what? Like, is anyone really fucking surprised in the slightest? Like, I mean, I could just, like, that's one name you can say, and it elicits this. I could easily just say, "Hey, everybody, remember, Skull and Bones exists," and then
No, it doesn't.
and then you feel that, and then you're like, "Oh
It
yeah,
doesn't. It
well, okay,
doesn't.
well, but here we are, right? We get to talk about Schrodinger's fucking games." Anyway, yeah. Not great when labor investigation has to be done over the state of affairs, but I guess we'll find out with this story.
This reminds me of a recent hard drive article, which was disaster. Lead dev calls a meeting saying he played a hot new game over the weekend. And it's just like the amount of projects that have been absolutely annihilated and ruined by the lead going, "Hey man, I played the new game this weekend. Is it possible we could get this into the fucking?" No, no, we can't.
Wait, hold on. Breaking news update. Wait, hold on a minute. CEO Yves Guillemot says Beyond Good and Evil 2 is progressing well. It's a fantastic world, and as you could see, Netflix decided to take the universe and create a movie with it, so there's a lot of progress, and the team is working, and the game's coming along very well.
Well, okay then. Thanks, Eves.
Now, you know what, guys? Sorry, never mind. Story undo. Undo. We take it back.
Our bad. We spoke too soon.
Control Z. It's done.
Yves Guillemot says it's actually good.
It's going well. It's going well. My
It's
bad.
going better than
My
ever.
mistake. The government has officially stopped. They've recalled everyone. The investigation's over. Everyone's going home. Turns out it's going good.
No one in this office is a rapist. Also, promise.
It's going good. Everything's going good.
Definitely none of that.
Netflix would not have opted to work with the property if that were the case. What do you... Come on. Hey, stop it.
You know what's like wild? You started to read like the government is investigating Ubisoft, and when you said for like workplace crunch stuff, I like breathed a sigh of relief. Like that's where they're at.
Mm-hmm.